Hello again. Happy Tuesday. Paul and I were just this minute talking through our travel plans for this year, both those we have booked and still need to book, and we've concluded that I'm already tired. I'm tired. I'm excited, but I'm tired.
Your Delta app fills up with trips.
Yes.
Start to scroll through all the trips that are
just
booked.
like, how many of these do I have? I mean, we're very excited about it. There's some huge content coming later this year. We have our biggest road trip film ever. I can't tell you all about it yet, but our biggest road trip film ever is coming, which is going to occupy us, let's put it that way, for most of June.
Yeah, it is.
And that's just to film it. So we can't wait to talk about that and many, many other things. Thank you to all of our patrons, patreon.com, the Everyday Driver side gets great support there. Those patrons also have a private discussion group on Discord that gets early access to our trips and these kind of things. So we're very thankful to those folks because they get to hear a lot of this inside news early. And many of them become great friends. We're excited about our adventures. Oh, Utah. I just remembered Utah. The Utah adventure in September.
Right. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, that should go up for registration in the next week. So here's your warning. And if you're a patron, you'll get early access to that. That's going to be our best version of that trip ever as well. But that's one we didn't even talk about. Okay, there's a lot. But we're gonna dive right in here. We've got news, lots of cool news. We've got coming back through peak car. This is the M's mostly. Yes, Maserati is going to get covered. Yeah, Maserati will happen.
Excited.
We'll work our way through that, and we've also got a couple of cool car debates, car conclusions, questions from before. There's a lot. Let's go.
Let's do it. Diving in for the first part of the news, the BMW i3 has been announced and fully revealed. They are calling this the second Neue class model, but technically it's the second generation of the i3, even though it shares nothing with the i3. The 2015 to 2022,
nothing like the little boxy
bicycle
i3
tired
that I kind of like.
i3.
But yeah,
I know you do. I think you'd own one, but this is nothing like that. It's actually gorgeous.
Yeah, I agree.
think BMW is back. The proportions are very BMW. I want to show you the sketch, how good the proportions are and how inspiring this car is. It looks like BMW. It looks small. Proportions have gotten back to small 3 Series size, which is what we've been wanting. We understand there is a gas-powered version coming. You need to know, this is the i3 xDrive model, more efficient than the older BMWs with electric motors. So full electric motors, full all-wheel drive on this with 800-volt architecture, 463 brake horsepower, 476 pound-feet of torque, with a 108-kilowatt nickel manganese cobalt battery. This is not a lithium-ion battery.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Gives it a range with 559 miles, which is the longest range offered in Europe. It's probably up against Lucid here. In terms of range.
Yeah, the Lucids are in the 450, 500 range. That's a lot of range. Yeah.
It's small. It's not necessarily lightweight, but we're not quite there with EVs yet. But also, it's gorgeous. It looks great. They're going to sell a ton of these. This is exactly what I wanted BMW to produce. I think they're coming back. The styling, the Neue class styling is going to reset everything for BMW.
I'm glad you said reset because it feels like a styling reset to me as well. It feels like, okay, let's start again, and where they've gone looks really great. I will say my only issue with this so far actually is in some angles the rear treatment does not look good. But I actually think that would fix the rear treatment, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually think that the lights are too small. I think it's got too much surface on the back that is just blank surface. And I know they don't need to, but I feel like if the tail lights were big, it feels like the rear is squinting. Does that make sense? If the tail lights were bigger, I think it would balance it better. It's got that box back end that and this angle actually isn't bad that you're showing this rear 3/4, but some of the angles from the direct rear just aren't working for me. I like this front end so much more than what we had Beaver Teeth prior. I really do think they've done a good job of making it look small and very cool. So I'm very intrigued. I can't wait to drive this genuinely.
For sure. We shamed BMW. We did our part in shaming BMW out of the Beaver Teeth era.
We were in there somewhere, yes.
And you'll notice that this also has flush door handles, which you've probably read are banned in China at this point. So clearly not made for the Chinese market. It's everywhere else in Europe and North America. And
I'm waiting to see if they change that.
I think this is still concept-y.
Yeah, I think
and
these photos,
pre-production, but
what they'll probably do is that thing that is
change.
the new flush handle, where the handle doesn't pop out, but there's a little finger hole to get underneath the handle. That'll probably be that kind of styling.
You're
instead.
right, like the 911 does.
Instead of putting the big arcs on there that they did for a while, it'll be the stick your fingers in here and hit the touchpad.
So check out the interior, and you'll notice the instrument panel is not directly in front of the driver, so it is along the top edge, the base of the windshield right there. That top edge is all your information, along with a screen, which has now offered up new opportunities for a new steering wheel design. Check it out. It's a 4-spoke. And so since you don't look through the steering wheel anymore at your instrument panel there, you're scanning just above it. Hopefully this doesn't have the Toyota Prius problem where it's either steering wheel or instrument panel.
Not built
One
for
or the
tall
other,
people,
you choose. So it's a 4-spoke here with all your pertinent buttons, steering wheel buttons here, but it's actually offered up a new steering wheel take. It's a new design here.
I don't know that it's working for me, but there it is. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think it's pretty nice. I like all the surfaces, all the shapes, because you'll see this trapezoid shape pulls in what they've established throughout the years, the decade leading up to this car, and they're incorporating that, but it's still looking really sharp, really quite nice, and all the details there. So I like that because you don't need to offer an HUD. Your eyes are just right there, so you can drop your eyes, and you're not looking down, even though we're all trained to do it, and I'm guilty of that as well.
But you're looking through it. It'll work. Yeah.
Looking through here, it's just, right at your base of your eyesight level. So you, that kind of
a great call.
A new take on things. The screen is a little bit large. It still feels a little bit tacked on and maybe needs to be more subtle. But
it's Model 3 thinking. I hate to say it,
it really
is
is
Tesla Model 3 thinking. It's like, how would BMW redesign the Tesla Model 3 interior? I bet you that sentence was said in a meeting.
Right.
I bet you it was.
I think you're right. But we'll wait to see what the interior of the gas version of this looks like. Be quite interesting, and I'm not sure why BMW continues to insist on a white interior, so that's why it still feels concept-y, but they have proven also that they will just offer that and people buy it, and it's just blinding white interior.
It looks great in photographs. That's why they give it to us for press cars. All the brands want to give out a super light interior for press cars, and this is, let's be honest, another thing Tesla has done forever is a white interior with some black accents, and I would never buy a white interior, but it does. Look, it makes it feel inviting, and it's not cave-like. It's the opposite. That's the trick that's pulled here for sure.
The proportions, it's a small
looks cool.
car. Again, this is what we wanted. I'm excited about this car. I want to drive it. I'm excited about the gas version. There is further BMW news in the form of the M3 Touring, and BMW is proud that the April Fool's joke is actually in existence now. Fascinating to read about this. Of course, because it's a wagon, the entire internet glommed onto their April Fool's joke, like, what if we made a race car out of the wagon? And everybody's like, please do that. And BMW realized,
okay,
what if we did? And so they've got "We Built It" signs all over the car they built that will be competing in the Nürburgring 24 Hours. So that is the name of the car. It's the M3 Touring 24 Hours. 590 horsepower. Up to 590 horsepower with 517 pound-feet of torque from that 3-liter inline-6 twin-power turbo engine. But the challenges were challenging because the length of the roof made more air resistance in both top speed and high speed cornering. Also, the roof and rear window affected the rear wing downforce in comparison to the M4 GT3. It was actually worse because it's the Touring.
I can see that, yeah.
So to solve this, the swan neck increases the distance from that rear window and the roofline, and it eliminates the lift that is created right at the trailing edge of the roof, the rear lip of the roof, without any additional drag. And also, it increases downforce by extending it out. But now, it's another benefit because I'm pretty sure you can open that rear hatch. It's going to be difficult to access, but it's not attached to the hatch itself.
Sure.
So it's the swan neck that's bolted right to
They're
the
never building
bodywork.
this for anybody else anyway. This will be a one-off and it'll wind up in the museum. That's exactly what's happening. It's very cool, though.
Hashtag they built it, and they figured out the aerodynamics, and now it actually makes more downforce because they've extended that swan neck out. So this kind of ties into what we'll get to with my discussion today in peak cars, but it's about aerodynamics. And the question that I want to propose to everybody is, Instead of the future being more power and it's faster in a straight line, what about aerodynamics? What will aero continue to do to new cars, new sports cars? Let's talk about aero from here on out, not power.
Okay.
Let's talk about aerodynamics for every car that comes out.
Okay, fair.
How does that
Aero and weight would be really fascinating to pursue.
What if we kind of tabled the power discussion because we've arrived with the ZR1X at the mostest,
all
bestest.
of the power, all of the power, all of the aero, all of the traction.
What about aero and lack of weight? And let's start that discussion for future sports cars. More news from Nissan. This is really exciting. As you know, the changes for the 2027 Nissan Z are not just styling because they have introduced the manual transmission for the NISMO model.
Hello. Missed opportunity before.
Yes, but I'm curious because by waiting so long, I think Nissan has extended the life of the Z. And as we know, Nissan builds models for like 14 straight years. So they've got to do something. I think it was probably already in the works. I think it was part of their plan from the get-go, and then everybody screamed and said, why doesn't us included, why doesn't the NISMO have the manual?
Well, when the NISMO came out with the auto only, and everybody said, I know this is a track car, but wouldn't this be better with the manual? We said it as well, and we love the way the NISMO drives.
Yeah.
But the official Nissan line was that the bump in power the transmission can't handle. Well, I don't mean to rewind and bring it back up, but so what miracle occurred now? That the engine and transmission can now handle what the NISMO-fication of the car, and now the manual's cool. Earlier it wasn't, but now it's good. But I'm just glad it's coming.
I'm thrilled it's here. They have very much promoted this for track use. They did for the NISMO anyway.
Yes, they did.
But now even more, they're promoting the manual transmission for track use because the new NISMO manual is not just a manual transmission. They have added the GTR front brakes to the car, which has saved 19 pounds from the previous NISMO, which means they have had to retune the front suspension for better. And also, they've reduced the steering friction on the steering rack by 20% for a more fluid feel.
Sounds all good.
All designed for track use. So suspension retuning, lighter front end, manual transmission. This is how the car should have been from the get-go, but they've prolonged the life of the Z.
You're right.
They've strung it out even more.
Absolutely true.
It's news.
Think about when Toyota released the Supra. Well, they waited a few years until the manual showed up. And it revitalized that car. And also, this is one of those cars. I mean, I still can't believe that Nissan has successfully actually re-released the Z car at all, and I'm impressed. I was disappointed when we first drove it. I was pleasantly thrilled by it when we drove it in the NISMO form and wanted a manual. Now this has a manual, and they've revised the styling to the better. And they're putting better parts on it. I mean, this may be one of those ongoing project cars where they just keep making it better. And by the time this life cycle finishes, this might be the car you must go buy. I cannot wait to drive this version.
I think that
I'm very excited. I really am.
These even have a new fuel tank specifically to maintain consistent performance during aggressive track driving. All that's coming out of Nissan's press release is aggressive track driving with the NISMO version.
You're right. You're totally right.
Nissan, bring this to a Hooked on Driving track day.
Completely.
NISMO owners, bring this car to an HOD track day near you, hookedondriving.com, find a track day near you. But this is designed for track use. That's all they're talking about. GTR front brakes, why didn't have GTR front brakes from the very beginning?
Well, what's crazy is that suggests that the braking will be better, and then the weight savings that changes all of the other things in the front end. That's great stuff. I love it.
Yes to all of this. Nissan, great job. You're doing great. Keep it up. You're doing great.
We're applauding you. Yay, Nissan.
Baby steps. Since you're listening to us, you'll end up shopping for your next car very soon. And when you do, you need Autotempest.com.
Any car, anywhere, at any price, Autotempest searches all the major car listing sites on the web, local or nationwide. And Autotempest has recently added price history for every car listed, so you can see how prices are trending and know if you found a good deal. You can also create search alerts and lists of saved searches so you can find your perfect spec even easier next time.
Search on any device, in your browser or as an app for Apple iOS and Android. New, used, or unexpected, Autotempest is how we search for cars. Go to Autotempest.com/everyday so they know we sent you. Autotempest, all the cars, one search.
Today is technically Maserati through Polestar, and I just didn't even look up Polestar. Polestar is such a whatever. I figured you'd have
Polestar.
something. I figured you'd have it done.
I do.
But we are going to jump in with Maserati first. But let me just give you the headline real quick. We're talking Maserati, Mazda, McLaren, Mercedes-Benz, Mini, Mitsubishi. Have you got Morgan stuff?
I do.
Okay, because I haven't driven enough Morgans to really feel like I could speak about it. Nissan and Polestar. So we are going all the way to P, which means next time we're going to cover Porsche, aren't we?
We'll start with Porsche for next time.
Man, oh man. Okay, yeah, we'll try to get through the rest
I've
of the alphabet
already
next time.
got my cars for Porsche. I've already got them.
I'm not the least bit surprised. Is anyone surprised that Paul already knows what peak Porsche cars we're going to talk about?
Exactly what to talk about.
All right. So dive on in.
Okay, let's start with the Maserati.
One of my favorite, if not my very favorite joke shirt we've ever made is your Maserati shirt.
Best.
And it takes a couple of reads. The thing that's funny is I've certainly worn that in some situations where people are like, ugh, Maserati owner. He's totally acting like a Maserati owner. I'm like, look again at this shirt.
Yeah.
And let's have a different conversation, shall we?
The wilted pickle fork.
Exactly. You think you know what it says, but you don't. Anyway.
It's all in jest. It's all, I mean, we're poking fun.
Of course we are.
There's a lot to love here. You might think that I would have said the birdcage, the Type 6061, the birdcage Maserati. But no, I am not including that as peak Maserati because it was slow, it didn't win, and it was ugly. It was kind of a turd. I mean, everybody's like, the birdcage Maserati. And yes, it was a lightweight chassis with very delicate, thin tubing structure for the chassis. And that is cool, but there are cooler Maseratis. So I believe Maserati peaked in 1957 with two cars, starting with the 250F T2 lightweight. This was the Nürburgring Grand Prix winning car driven by Juan Manuel Fangio. This particular car was at the museum in Germany that you and I went to last year. That's the car, the winning car.
Yeah, that museum was unbelievable.
The cool thing about this, and there's a through line, just over 1,200 pounds, inline 6 with 270 brake horsepower in an offset position, so the drive shaft could run alongside the driver and therefore mount the seat even lower in the chassis for a lower center of gravity.
There's nothing scarier than sharing the cabin with the open drive shaft. I am sorry, but that is terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Do not have any loose pieces of clothing. You'll be sucked right in.
Yes.
That is all bad.
Talking about brave drivers.
Man, oh man.
But this was an 8-time championship winning car in Formula One, just over 1,200 pounds.
It's unbelievable. It's and terrifying. Unbelievable and really, really scary. Yeah.
Amazing. So the second car is also from 1956 to 1958, but this is the 57 450S.
Okay.
The dry weight was under 2,000 pounds with a 500 horsepower, 4.7 liter V8.
I mean, I'm imagining
just over 2,000 pounds with driver and fluids.
I'm imagining my Elise with over 500 pounds. It currently has
500 horsepower, yes.
Yeah, with over 500 horsepower. You know, right now my car is stock, which means it has just under 200 horsepower. So we're more than doubling.
Yeah. Talk about
sure
ballsy to drive this thing.
I can't even imagine.
And
really can't.
It's pretty.
Yeah,
but also,
yeah.
the through line is lightweight. So Maserati, in its history, in its racing history, they stopped racing after that. They didn't go racing anymore after these cars. They tried. There was a V12 in that 250F.
Yeah.
They tried all these different configurations, and they end up going away from racing. Of course, Ferrari was on the rise at that point in racing, but lightweight is in their history. So I think they peaked with these two cars because they were winning cars. They're winning race cars. So I think those two cars peaked for the late 50s for Maserati and their current lineup. All of them are pretty heavy.
Yes, they are.
But with the new V6, that Nettuno engine that they've pretty much put in everything.
Yes.
Stylistically speaking, the Gran Turismo Trofeo is so
it's spectacular.
pretty.
It's such a great looking car. And it drives so much better than I ever expected.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to own one of these cars.
Buddy, I kind of want to own one of these cars. I agree with you. As these continue to take
sexy,
that precipitous drop that all Maseratis do, it's like, what's the point at which you go, yeah, I really ought to have one?
Just think they're pretty. They're sexy. They have that flavor, that exotic, beautiful. They've got power.
Well, and
they need to be light.
The one we drove was all-wheel drive and was brilliant in all-wheel drive. You could put 4 actual people in it, and it drove small and light, even though it was neither of the above. I was very impressed with this car.
Even though the MC20 has its issues, they are offering the MC Extrema GT2 Stradale.
Sure.
which is their extreme version of the MC20, and that same engine, a lot more power. Yes to this. Yes to all of their cars in the lineup, even their Grecale with the same engine, the Trofeo version of it. Yes to everything. I want them to think about lightweighting, but that peak Maserati in the late 50s provides the foundation for everything they need to do moving forward for the next generation of all these cars. And I hope that we're past the, unreliability kind of crap. They have years of that in their history.
Sure, yeah.
But you look back, there's some iconic Maseratis, like pretty striking and pretty beautiful cars. But their entire lineup, I'm all about. I would love to own that Gran Turismo, but I love the recipe, that through line. So peaked late 50s, and then now with their current product lineup. So just wait until they're used and go nuts.
It's going to be terrifying, right? But we're also excited. So just as a reminder, I'm doing this a little differently than Paul. Paul is picking peak cars, which is fantastic. And I am thinking about this as like a traveling time machine thing. Travel back to me to an individual year when you could walk into the dealer for this brand and they had multiple cool things going on.
Okay. Reliability aside?
Oh, absolutely. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just like you can't believe all these cars were sold at the same time.
Yeah.
And I created a task for myself. I've realized that this has been quite tiring, but very fun. So I'm going to dive in here. And I was surprised by where I ended up for Maserati. And that is, I wound up in the year 2010. And I debated going with current lineup, but I went with the year 2010 for a couple of reasons. Because this is before Maserati added SUVs.
Oh, okay.
And I like the current lineup. I'm with you. I like the current lineup a lot, but it is post-SUV transition.
Okay.
And at this time, in 2010, you had, this is the Quattroporte after your car.
Okay, so this is the refreshed version.
This is the refresh, okay?
Yeah.
And then they also have the Gran Turismo in convertible and coupe. Also, this was at that time when, for Maserati, all the engines were related to Ferrari engines.
True.
And you could argue that they sounded better than Ferraris because of the packaging and the exhausts.
Yeah.
I remember being in LA around this time period. You could, A, always tell when a Maserati drove by, and B, you just stopped what you were doing. It didn't even matter. You just stopped. Like mid-step, we're just like, oh, it's a Maserati driving by. I mean, it's like 3 blocks away because they were loud.
Yeah.
But they were fantastic. So, I mean, I have to go 2010 because that was, nothing else sounded like them. And they were such an alt choice. People that bought Maseratis were not considering anything else. Sounded great, turned your head, and if you ever got in one, you're like, this is really nice. Now, this is when they were most terrifying reliability-wise, but the Gran Turismo had a convertible, a 4-seat convertible, and this crazy coupe with the really long nose.
So cool. It's just a cool car.
Such a cab backward design. It was incredible. And then, of course, they continue to rock only the Italians, the 4-door, the Quattroporte. I will forever laugh at that name. But you know what? I mean, your car proved it to me, that those cars, forget the goofy name, Maserati's doing something unique. And the issues you had with yours had been ironed out by here, but they still got those cool engines.
I'd own this car again with the different transmission.
Yeah, I get
just
it.
The regular 6-speed. It'd probably be fine and take care of it. And just like any other car, and it'd probably be fine. It's just the maintenance was expensive, and people just sloughed that off and passed it to the next owner.
Yeah, I mean, as you did as well. This was also right before they
just
reintroduced.
Keeping with Maserati tradition.
Totally. You were like, I'm a Maserati owner now. This is what we do. This is also right before they came out with the Ghibli, which is a historic name for Maserati, and they've had it for lots of different generations. But the Ghibli kind of failed on introduction and then went away again. So I feel like this was the pure modern Maserati, was these 3 in the year 2010.
Pure Maserati.
With a Ferrari. Anyway, I know it's thin here. Anyway.
I love it. All right, moving on to Mazda, and I guess this is going to turn into the debate of which Miata is best. Which Miata do you prefer? And for me, it is the current one, the ND3 version of all Mazdas. I'm not going to show the rotaries any love. I think that's an experiment, and they tried it, and they're known for it, but that's not peak Mazda. Peak Mazda is the Miata, and peak Miata is the current ND3. This is a car that I would own.
Okay.
Hands down, flat out. I would squish my spine to just to own
deal,
it. Just
right?
to deal with it, make the seat mods, carve the foam out of the seat or something, just to like get my butt down in there.
I totally get it. Yep.
What a sweet looking, beautiful, we are all looking forward to what the next MX-5 would be. Of course, we want to know, but the proportions, the size, the scale cannot change. It can't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
heavier.
yeah.
It can't get bigger. It can't turn into the 992, 911. It can't get fat and heavy and make room for other models. No, it's got to stay this. And styling will change, but I think we're at peak Miata with the ND3.
Interesting.
Everything
Okay.
has
Right.
just sort of gelled into the one car from Mazda. They make great SUVs, and we like the SUVs, and we like some of the other products, and I like the RX-7s, and don't get me wrong, the rotors are cool for other people to own, but peak Mazda.
We've said that so many times. We got out of the rotors. We're like, oh, thank God, it's still running. That's really
here's
does
the keys
scare us.
back.
Yeah, it does scare us every time we do it. That's true.
So there you go. I think this is the car for me.
Okay. All right. Well, of course, I'm going to do my what's the best year thing. And this was interesting to kind of go back and go, when was Mazda selling a range of stuff that just could not be denied?
Okay.
And so I went through this for a while. And of course, guess what? Nobody's surprised it has a Miata on the list. But I am going to be places other than just Miata.
Whoa.
Whoa. Do you remember this car?
929?
Yes.
929.
They did the 929. They did the 323.
626.
The 626. And the 929.
I forgot about this
This was
car.
the 929. The year is 1995.
Oh my gosh.
They're selling the 929, which was the forgotten attempt by Mazda to do a luxury fighter. This was them kind of trying to do the Lexus LS thing.
Are those Lamborghini models on the shelf in the back behind the car?
They look like it. Yeah, I'm not sure where this photo's from, but there's that. So the 929 exists, the 626 exists, but let's think about the other stuff being sold by Mazda, the range of product in 1995.
Okay.
They're selling the B Series truck, which was a Ford Ranger.
Yeah.
B Series truck, which was actually really cool, and people still love these and build these out to incredible off-road builds.
Yep.
And I actually think that the Mazda version looks a little bit better than the Ranger from the time.
Okay. All right.
So the B Series truck. You remember this? The MX-3.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about this car.
The MX-3. Now, keep in mind, they made the MX-5. It was still
Is that a
first
Nissan
gen.
Pulsar MX-3
Yes,
Mazda? Sorry.
They were making the MX-5 Miata at the time, because of course they were, right? The first gen was still the big focus of the time. But they had an MX lineup. They had the 3, which is this front-wheel drive, tiny little hatchback, which, believe it or not, came with a tiny little four-cylinder, but it also came with a small V6. Naturally aspirated V6 front-wheel drive was available in this. The MX-5, of course, then the MX-6. Remember this car?
This is the Ford Probe underneath.
Yes, it's the Ford Probe sold by Mazda. They told the MX-6.
That's right.
This is also 1995, if you can believe it. And, of course, the RX-7 from the mid-90s, the FD, which it's one of the more brilliant cars to look at, to drive, to interact with. I am too big for it. And I'm terrified of the rotary, but it is brilliant to drive. So this is the lineup of our friends at Mazda in this year. I cannot believe the range of stuff they have. And I had totally forgotten about the MX lineup.
I totally forgot about the MX lineup.
The 323 becomes the current Mazda 3. Okay? The 626 became the Mazda 6, which is now dead. The 929 hasn't existed for a while, but they had those 3 sedans stepping up in sedans like BMW.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
They have a little tiny pickup that was legit. They have an MX lineup. Now, I wish all the MX lineup meant rear-wheel drive, but okay. The 3, the 5, and the 6. And then the RX-7 is just an icon. 1995 at Mazda was crazy town, and I love it. I'm so excited about it. It's really cool.
I forgot about that MX-6 because I went to the Auto Alliance plant in southern Detroit to see the Ford Probe and that car being built. It was like, you can build this 2 different brands on the same line. And I had a great education about shared parts and badge engineering.
Sure,
wait, that's a Mazda at the Ford plant. Like, wait, it's contract building. You can do that? Okay, shared parts. And I saw the bodies going on. I saw everything, suspension, all the parts, and it was very educational for me. That was crazy.
The MX-6 was much better looking than the original Ford Probe.
Much better looking.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Mazda has such a bright future with this inline 6 for future sedans and making rear-wheel drive cars. Have a long, beautiful nose, rear-wheel drive, whatever keep them MX-5 and then an inline 6 with a larger proportion, GT car-like, but still Mazda. They've got such a bright future with that engine alone to do so many cool things. I'm really excited.
Yeah, 1995, I had no idea. That was the throwdown year for me, for sure.
That is really good. Moving on to McLaren. There's been a lot of cars, and I love McLarens, and I love so many different models, and they're all great, right? They're all great.
Okay, all right.
I will just briefly touch
Keep going, yes.
on the F1 from 1992 to 1998, and then moving to the future car that is coming out very shortly. It is their brand new supercar, the W1. And I criticized this car in earlier podcasts, and I wasn't too impressed. But the more I've inspected it, the more I've learned about it. I'm really warming to the styling. I'm really excited for this car. It's really grown on me. It doesn't have to be that half moon kind of shape styling everywhere. Where they're starting to move away from that for me, which is good. What is McLaren about this? And it comes back to this discussion about the Z car. Let's talk about aerodynamics. Sure. BMW, the wing for the Touring. So this is 1,275 horsepower. It's a hybrid.
Sure, of course it is, yeah.
With an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. But it has McLaren Active Long Tail on it. So that wing extends backwards 300 millimeters and extends the working area of the diffuser to produce 1,000 kilograms or 2,204 pounds of downforce.
Are we trying to stick to the ceiling?
So horsepower, it's got a ton of horsepower.
Of course it does.
Styling, crazy, carbon fiber, everything, great.
Yeah.
A lot of supercars do that. But now, it's the future is downforce. The future is aero. That's how Porsche is able to inexplicably make the GT3 RS faster than the GT3. Like, you extended the wing up and it makes more and it's got more. And then Manti takes it even further and really sticks the car to the ground. It's a cheat code.
It's really crazy.
Every time we drive, we're like, this is cheating.
Yeah,
how is this possible?
For sure, yeah.
So horsepower, cool. Obviously, you have to have the horsepower to overcome the drag, but still, future sports cars, let's make them aerodynamic and efficient, and that will produce, I think, beautiful cars and interesting future sports cars. We have saved the manuals. I keep saying this. Nissan with the NISMO Z proves that the manuals are saved. Can we stop talking about saving the manuals? And
we don't want them to go away, but you're right. It's kind of like Save the Whales. We got over the scary part, and now we're feeling a little bit better about ourselves. Yeah.
Parents, teach your children, teach your sons and daughters to drive manual transmissions.
Yes, which will also keep them around.
It is a life skill that will keep these cars around.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's future supercars like this. Let's talk about aero. This is so key. And just learning that particular stat, how that wing deploys 300 millimeters further out to make 1,000 kilograms of
that's craziness. It really is.
Pushing on the car to stick it.
I wonder how fast you have to go to get all of that out of it, but that's still insane.
Fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
Note, little asterisk in the corner, must travel extremely fast.
Go fast.
Yes.
But still,
fast with a capital letter.
The W1 has really grown on me.
All right.
I'm really kind of becoming all about it. And it's not horsepower, it's not stats, it's aero. Kind of getting into aero.
Yeah, you are. I've heard that coming up a lot more with you. It's pretty interesting. All right, that's good stuff. I'm going to jump into McLaren here, and I hate to say the best era is right now. I tried to not do that, but I think we drove the Artura a couple years ago, and that was the first of the new chassis from McLaren. And I feel like the Artura is going to work its way through their lineup, and we may get to a place that I would like travel into the future in time and find the new peak for McLaren. But I was trying to go, like I am with all of these, when do they have the super broad lineup? Okay? And I landed on 2020.
I mean, that might change with their future SUV, whatever that is coming out. Then they'll have an even broader lineup.
Exactly.
We'll see.
If the SUV is good, I can't believe they're doing, but of course they're doing it. Anyway, 2020, they had this GT car, which was also built in S and in Spider.
Well, this is the 570.
This is the 570.
Right?
Yes, they had the 570 GT in S and in Spider. This was their entry-level car. Now, the Artura has replaced this. The Artura is now the entry-level, but this was their entry-level. This is right after the era that reintroduced them with the MP412C, which was known to be electronically plagued. And they made variants of that, which was like the 600 and the 675. They made lots, and they were refining that. But then starting with this 570, it was like, okay, we kind of got our feet under us, and you can get an entry-level McLaren now. And you could even get it in like GT form that has slightly different styling as well. But anyway, so here's the 570. You also have the 600 class at the time. This is a 600 LT that I'm showing.
Okay. Right.
You also in 2020 could buy a 720S. It was the beginning of that life cycle, the 720S. But wait, also available this same year was the Speedtail at the top alongside the Senna.
Oh,
All of these were available from McLaren in the year 2020. I'm going to go back through them real quick. $570 if you just came into McLaren. McLaren's not Ferrari. If you have the money, you can buy a car.
you can just go buy.
You can just go buy one.
Whatever model you want.
I would like to
McLaren.
buy me a 570 is not enough for me. I'll get a 600 LT. Oh wait, that's not enough. 720S, which has been argued as like the best daily hypercar ever. But about a speed, I've never even seen one of these in person. They're out there, but the speed tail, the crazy, and this was the 3-seater. Right. Revisiting the 3-seater idea before Gordon Murray comes back with it on his lineup. So this was this crazy speed tail with all this aero, and look at the weird front wheel and all this. I mean, there's
it's
really
all about
weird stuff
aero.
going on.
They just
for
explore
sure.
aero.
And then, of course, the Senna with the see-through doors for tracking.
They explore aero. Aero doesn't necessarily mean pretty. They are not one and the same.
The Senna is purposeful, but I don't think you can call that car beautiful. I really don't think you can.
No, but for a purpose,
yeah. Talk about hitting the apex, though. You can't see the wheel arches, but you can look through your door. Where's the curbing? Oh, there it is. And again, kind of like Maserati, this is before the inevitable SUV, assuming that's coming. In 2020, it feels like they've got a lineup that not only is it all sports cars, but it feels like their entire lineup would be like if Porsche only sold variants of the 911. Similar chassis, built out in different ways. 2020.
We're adding FCP Euro as our partners and supporters for both Everyday Driver and Hooked on Driving. For nearly 40 years, FCP Euro has been an industry-leading supplier of genuine, original equipment and OEM parts and performance upgrades for European cars.
That means BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, Mini, Mercedes, Volvo, Porsche, and even Saab. Paul, you have to call your brother-in-law and tell him FCP Euro is the place because, as I just said, even Saab. We're putting it in the ad. Anyway.
They offer a lifetime replacement guarantee on everything, including consumables like brake pads, wiper blades, and even oil filters. Buy a replacement, send back the old one, and receive a credit for the full amount.
For your Saab!
Plus, FCP Euro offers free economy shipping on orders over $49 and a 90-day hassle-free return policy for new, unused, and uninstalled parts.
So visit FCP Euro today for more than 300,000 parts ready to ship for your European car and your Saab. FCPEuro.com.
Right, we've got Mercedes-Benz next. What is peak Mercedes to me is the 300 SL Gullwing, classic, iconic, but it was also the thinking behind it. It was that GT long nose, the thing that spawned my other two favorites from Mercedes. The GT is one of the prettiest cars Mercedes has built since the 54, 55, 300 SL Gullwing. It is peak Mercedes for how it drives, power. We love this car, how energetic, how raw it is, but still, of all the AMG cars, it is this. I'm showing the green, green GTR version, but we liked the regular GT, the GTS.
We did, yep.
And this is from 2017, I believe, but that era up to 2020, somewhere 2020, 2021. Really think this is such a special car, and I didn't want Mercedes to touch it, and I wasn't too enthusiastic about the next generation, but I did realize that Mercedes built the Porsche 928 that Porsche should have built.
Yeah, you've said that before, and I think you're right. They really did kind of steal that idea from Porsche.
This is the one. They changed the layout so you could incorporate two small back seats that are completely unusable, but that's right in line with the 928 thinking.
Yes, and you would know.
It's not the most dynamic feeling. It's not dead, but there's response that seems artificial, but it's along the lines of like, I can't believe technology allows me as a driver to do the things I'm doing on this. It's phenomenally superb to drive. But
this is really one of those cars that proves you can have fun in a car that weighs too much. This should be as distant as the GTR and somehow isn't.
Yes.
Which is very interesting.
Surprising.
Yeah, it really is.
So this is the E-Performance version of the AMG GT 63S E-Performance.
You don't need that version either. You could step down and still have all the fun. But anyway, keep going.
We never like to judge a car based on numbers, and part of this exercise we are doing so to demonstrate technology going into this car. But with this particular one, they invented fluid. Mercedes came up with a fluid to keep the battery cool at a consistent temperature, 113 degrees, that is located over the 2-speed rear transaxle so that all of the power from the battery is available at all times, all at once, Whether it's cold outside, hot outside, that fluid keeps the batteries at 113 degrees and all of the power can be discharged. Yes, it is unbelievable. And here it is in a car you and I can buy. I mean, we can't afford it, but here it is.
People can buy it. There's no like special form you have to fill out. You just go into Mercedes dealer with the money and you can have one. Yes.
The gull-wing was just, the steering wheel tilts to get in, and the gull-wings and the styling and the inline six and the power, and what a crazy, it was a race car, it was a road car, and it's kept going. And here it is peaking in 54, 55 and peaking again right now with this GT63.
Very good. Mercedes is difficult. This was hard for me because I was trying to go, what year do I land on that just feels like everything in the lineup feels like iconic Mercedes? Because Mercedes has had
Sprinter vans.
Seriously, they've had ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
And in the early 2000s, when this show really started, felt like that Mercedes was kind of in a doldrums, and they bounced back since, as is evidenced by the stuff you're bringing up here. So I was just trying to think of what are the cars that when I see them, I'm just ingrained for that is Mercedes. So I had to really think about this. And I landed on the back end of the very iconic W124 era. Now, if you don't know, the W124 is this car I'm showing on screen now. I'm in the year 1994. From the mid-'80s to the mid-'90s, Mercedes was making what was essentially the W124 chassis, which then became the E-Class.
Yes.
And 94 is about the time they started calling it the E-Class. But this boxy front end, after this version, they actually separate out the dual lights on the E-Class. It's the way you tell the E-Class. But this is before that. I never liked the separated out E-Class lights. It never worked for me. Really? This is before that. It's still a bigger, boxier light. But the crazy thing about the 124 is it came in everything. It came in, this is 2-door coupe. It came in 4-door. It also came in convertible. It also came in wagon.
Yes.
And you could get at this point, you could get many Mercedes in manual. You could just tick the box for manual. So keep in mind, most of the cars I'm showing here, you could do a manual option, and many of them also had a V12 option. The other reason I landed in 94 is because, I'm sorry, but there is no more iconic, that looks like an S-Class sedan, than the 1994 Mercedes S-Class. That is an old boxy design, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think they've topped it. This 1994 Mercedes S-Class, to me, that says Mercedes big brawling S-Class more than any other design they've ever hit on. This is also the era when BMW does their really cool 7 Series, like right after this era. Late 90s is when when BMW does their awesome 7 that we like so much. This is the AMG version I'm showing here, but this boxy S-Class, you could get a V12 in this, and it's square and it's fine with it. This is just a really, really cool S-Class. I like this very much.
Love that
and
car.
The same era also has the only era of the SLK I ever liked.
These are cheap, by the way.
They are cheap now, but it's boxy. It's got kind of the front end of that 124 E-Class. This one I'm showing happens to have a V12 up front.
Sweet. Sweet.
And I don't know that I'm picking any of these cars because they are the best thing ever to drive, but that just says Mercedes to me. This is their lineup. This is before it gets into how many 5-seat SUVs can we sell. SLK looks like that. The S-Class rules the world.
Yes,
and
it
we
does.
have all the variants of the 124, soon to be E-Class you could imagine. Again, this one car came in coupe, sedan, wagon, and convertible. Oh, and I don't have a picture of it here, but this is also the area where the S-Class sold a coupe.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
1994 was like Mercedes goes, this is exactly the kind of car we make and nothing else. And I love it.
I remember reading in the Mercedes brochure from the 90s, because I was beginning my art center career and I was just devouring car information more than I usually did. And I remember reading Mercedes and their take on door handles. That is the antithesis of where door handles are today.
Okay.
They put all their engineering into the handles, so much so they advertised it as the handle the fire department can put a link the chain through and yank the door off the car to get your butt out of there in a fire. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that. And they're still stylish and slim, and you can pull the door off the car with that handle. That's cool.
It's like a missed opportunity for an episode of Incredible Hulk.
Like, yes. Modern door handles will snap like the elastic on the back of your kid's Halloween mask nowadays.
For
It feels
sure.
like snap plastic. Oh, that's junk.
Yes, for
They
sure.
feel very fragile, and that is the first interaction with the car. That is where you first interact.
Tells you a lot.
It tells you all kinds of things.
Yes.
So modern handles, especially the retractable handles, which I don't like personally. They feel cheap and flimsy because they have to be light and they're plastic gears.
They have to recess and they've got to move and all the things. Yeah.
But Mercedes was like,
interesting. Okay.
Oh, Mercedes. Oh.
Easy there.
And then just knowing emergency services could get to you just by pulling the door off the car. Okay.
Madness. Okay.
Fantastic.
That's good. That's
you
very
don't
good.
see that from any manufacturer these days.
Nobody cares that much about handles. That's true.
Let's talk about Mini.
Okay.
This is going to be really easy for me.
All right.
I'm not going to dive into the history of the Morris Mini or the Austin Minis. I'm going to just go straight for the original Mini.
Okay.
Which is classic. So that one, the original Mini and the R53, I just don't think modern Minis get better stylistically, better to drive. I just don't think they've topped this 04 R53 Mini Cooper. The JCW, the Mini Cooper S, don't care. Supercharged, not turbocharging.
Agreed.
I don't think they've done better. They need to revisit this. They need to open up Creek, their history book, and revisit the R53 because that is Mini to me. That is modern, classic, cool, fun, interesting, great Mini.
You and I are there together.
The end.
I just have to pile on to your thinking
The end.
here. My year for Mini was 2006. I'm showing a base Mini here. 2006 was the last year of the R53.
Okay, all right.
Okay? You could get this base one. It's just the modern Mini Cooper. You could get it supercharged with a little vent in the hood like my son has, which is really awesome. Plus you get supercharger wine, which is even better. You also could get convertible, and this is actually a supercharged convertible that I'm showing, and you could get the JCW version.
Sweet looking.
They haven't gone Clubman. They haven't done the Countryman yet either.
Countryman.
This is just, we are doing what the name suggests on the tin. We're making a small car, Mini. It is small. It's not for everybody. What do we make? Lots of variants of a very small mini car.
Yes.
This is it. Because the other thing is, right after they did this generation, starting in 07, they had the turbocharged motor. And that is where Mini gets its horrible reliability reputation. Because that second generation was terrible for reliability. And they got a little bit bigger. And that's when they started adding all the other models. And I really like the Clubman with the refrigerator doors. Those are cool looking. But come on now. I was following one the other day. Because they're all off the BMW chassis, the current Countryman is just SUV. It's not interesting looking. In fact, it's ugly.
Mini.
It's ugly, and it's big.
It's big, yeah.
It's every bit as big. Frankly, it's about as big as my first gen Cayenne. Not quite, but it's starting to be that.
Yeah, not quite.
It's like modern RAV4 sized. Think about that, and it's a Mini.
It's in the name.
It should be in the name.
But we have to broaden the lineup, and we have to give people what they want to buy. No, you don't. You don't.
But this is the other part of the equation. Whenever any of us buy a car, if you buy a new car ever, and I've done this a couple times, you will be besieged by, so you bought your car, how do you feel about it? Surveys. On your phone, through the mail. We want feedback.
Yes. And the dealer, too. It's not just...
absolutely.
Yeah.
And invariably, in every one of those questionnaires, there's a please check boxes for things you'd like more of. Well, okay, everybody on the planet, whatever car you buy, okay, if it's a car you use a lot, you could probably do, just usability-wise, with a little more space. I'd like a little more space, please. I mean, I drive a Lotus Elise. I love it. I want it to be small and tiny, but could I do with a little more space? Yeah, I could. Every time I'm in a Miata, it's awesome. I don't really want it to get bigger, but what would I like? A little more space. So I guarantee you what happened is those surveys on the Mini where I'd like it to be a little bigger, and Mini went, well, okay, see, that proves it. But to your point, we don't have to sound everybody. Let's just make the car for the people that want to buy the car and let it go.
BMW makes all the niche models. They already make all that stuff.
What are we doing with a Countryman that's as big as a RAV4? This is not Mini. Anyway, 2006, I'm beating it to death, but 2006 was the year.
When you think of Mitsubishi, what car do you think? Quick, go.
Evolution.
There's only one.
Yeah.
It is the Evo 10. All the other Evos are really cool. I like them too. But the Evo 10, the end. I see more Mitsubishis on the street nowadays. I can't even tell you what the models are anymore.
Okay. Yeah,
I stopped paying attention. After
Fair, yeah.
this died, I stopped paying attention to Mitsubishi because, well, Mitsubishi died. But then they brought the brand back, and they have all these different SUVs, and I'm just thinking, Mitsubishi.
What are you doing?
Nissan, Renault, Mitsubishi, they've got... Nissan's doing great things. It could infect through over to Mitsubishi, we could still get something. But first, they're going to have to come out with a new Lancer and a new small car, and then take your inspiration from BMW. Look, they went smaller with the new 3 Series, and then it's going to be all the variants, all the performance variants, and that's what you could do for the next Mitsubishi Evo. And I think people would buy it because everybody's been without. We've all been without. And Subaru, look at Subaru, creeping back towards performance with the WRX. They're like, no, we're never going to make the STI
Nobody
again.
likes this. Nobody's buying it. Well, maybe somebody will buy it.
And then everybody kind of wants that performance WRX, and they're kind of creeping back and make the Safari version, make all the versions. I don't care. But the Evo 10, I have fond memories of us driving that car against so many things.
All kinds of things. It's the car I've always wanted to own and never actually did. It's up there with for me, it's up there with the Giulia and the SS and those other kind of sedans I don't need but I love.
Yes.
It's absolutely up there for sure.
As you've succinctly stated one time, the interior of the Mitsubishi Evo is like plastic army men melted down to make an instrument panel.
Yes.
It is so cheap, it's terrible, but then you start driving and nobody cares. And it's just so great
You're
to
totally
drive.
right, yes.
But it's super cheap and stupid and terrible, and now it's really old.
Because, look, every brand did this, and that is we're going to make our economy car, and then we're going to make the sporty version of our economy car. But Mitsubishi somehow failed in the interior transition steps, okay? Everybody else seemed to figure out a way while making a performance version to make the interior, it's a little nicer. It's a little nicer. This is just the interior for the $20,000 Lancer. You just happen to get a bunch of technology in it and make it drive brilliant, and the interior was like, this is a cheap car. This is a really cheap car.
But the brilliance, that's what the Mitsubishi name means, is driving brilliance. Okay, we don't care about anything else. Even seats, we don't care. I mean, we care about seats, but everything else, fine. It's a bolt of old fabric from the local fabric store to cover the interior, and we don't care. But man, is it great in the all-wheel drive and
interesting.
peak Mitsubishi.
Okay,
they've had a long history, rally, all the Evos. Cool. We can argue which Evo is the best, just like we argue which Miata is the best.
Sure.
But I think it's the last one. They peaked.
Okay.
Mitsubishi peaked.
All right.
And then we get Eclipse crosses, and I don't even know, Grand Eclipse crosses.
I'm about to frighten you with the Eclipse, actually. You're going to not know this little bit of information. I've learned all kinds of stuff doing this. I really have enjoyed this because I've learned a ton of stuff in all of this
really
research. It really has been very cool. I keep making my notes available in a couple places because I keep running back and forth from photos to this. I mean, there's a lot going on here, but I'm very, very excited about it. Okay, here's something I don't think you knew. I didn't know it, but I'm going to mention it anyway. And that is, I think peak year for Mitsubishi was 2003. But did you know that the Eclipse was sold new until 2012? I think of that car as dying in like 03 when I was doing peak Mitsubishi. But they sold a version. This is the Diamante, my friend.
Oh, that's the Diamante. What a contrived, stupid name.
2003 is my year, which the Eclipse was being sold. But I actually thought this was when the Eclipse died. 2012, you could still buy a brand new Mitsubishi Eclipse, the soap-looking one. But I'm going to 2003.
The nasty Eclipse, yeah.
I'm going to 2003. The Diamante was their attempt to compete with the Lexus of the world. Not quite. Right. This was like their upper-class Mitsubishi.
People open the door? Nope.
But it was their attempt to, I mean, and honestly, I think styling-wise, I think this came into its own. At the time, it was a little weird. I think it kind of came into its own. I think it looks like what they were aiming for now looking back at it. Okay. I'm not saying it was brilliant to drive. This was the first year that the Evo was available in the U.S. market, was the Evo 8 at this point. The Lancer Evo 8 really made us all go, oh, this is what we've been missing.
Right.
That was available in 03. The Galant.
There's the Galant.
Also looked related to the Diamante, and it looked okay. I'm not saying it drove well, but it looked okay. This is not a great picture. I will acknowledge that.
Okay.
But also see how it has a similar, I mean, they've got a front end that's kind of working for them. Okay. The Galant. The Montero. Everyone I know that has one of these will not shut up.
I forgot about the Montero.
People love these things. And the people that I know that have them, they bought them for nothing, and they maintain them for nothing. And they run in spite of them.
What was the magic? What was the deal?
The Montero just seems to run. And everyone I know that has one, even when they have some weird part they have to chase, there's no consideration about selling the Montero. Are you kidding? No, I'm just going to fix it. I know 2 or 3 people like this. Couple here in Park City that are just like, Montero till the day I die. That Montero is staying in the garage. I'm like, what is going on? So Montero was beloved.
Nobody talks about
these. And was available for sale brand new in 2003.
Oh my gosh.
And that is my major list. Of course, the Eclipse was being sold in both coupe and convertible at the same time in 03. They had a range of stuff. And if I just say high points, Evo gets introduced, Eclipse exists in coupe and convertible, and this Montero apparently was like the pinnacle of Mitsubishi truck making, and they pulled it off in 03.
But that's kind of in line with Mitsubishi. Like, the styling is the interior's not great, but they put all of their engineering into the materials and the drivetrain, and it just runs. It's like bulletproof.
Apparently,
components.
they're the bang around truck. Yeah,
amazing. Well, I love learning things. I'm with you. I've learned a ton on this. The more I learn, the less I know.
The Eclipse
the more
was
I don't
still
know.
being sold new in 2012. What on earth?
I was gonna talk about the mid '90s, the late '90s Eclipse, the good one.
That was cool.
The doorstop.
Yeah.
That was a cool car.
It was cool.
But I
Well, and
still
also
think
remember the late
that wasn't
90s when
peak.
they also sold it as an Eagle. Remember that? And it was all available
Eagle
all-wheel
Talon.
drive with the little off-center hump for the turbo. That was cool. That was very cool.
There was a Plymouth version too.
Yeah, you're right. What was that called?
From
One
my
point in the
memory.
late 90s, I happen to know a person that owned each of the three variants.
Laser? Was
Three
it
different
Laser?
people, I forget, three different people owned like which version, which trim are we going with? It was crazy. Yeah.
Wild. Yeah, I love learning new stuff about cars. Every time we go to Monterey, or I hear
gosh,
some
yeah.
new brand of car that
Yep.
existed and I've never heard of before. It's constant, but pretty cool. All right, we've got to go to Morgan really quickly. I'm touching on Morgan, and I could make the "I'm not into Ashwood frames" joke. And if you got to have your car serviced, the Terminex person shows up to,
Yep.
you know,
That's the joke. For
fog
sure.
your
It
car.
stands there.
But I don't think any car company could do a three-wheeler better than Morgan. And their latest iteration,
Okay.
Super 3, I
Sure.
think this is the three-wheeler to have. And quirky, unique, fun, different.
Yeah.
It's just so
Yeah.
different. The flavor is different. They don't need to make the four-wheeled cars. They don't need to do that anymore. Just keep making this.
Yeah.
And it's their niche thing, and they're super cool for those people that are into it. I do think they're pretty unique and interesting and cool. They're just a small brand, and let's just do that. And I think it works. Morgan's.
I feel like there's an offshoot of Morgan's. Maybe it's just in this country. Well, it's not. It's in the UK and other places too. But I feel like there's an offshoot in car culture right now that love for Morgan is some sort of litmus test. I will admit, I have not driven most of them. Maybe I would be surprised, but they don't compel me at all.
No, and I think this is not about driving.
But I'm talking about
it's
their four-wheel cars and the 8s and the Super 8s and that kind of stuff. I'm not drawn to them at all. I know people that have driven them and won't stop talking about them. Maybe I just need to drive one and I'd be revolutionized, but it doesn't connect with me at all.
Only if
and
you have
because I haven't driven many, I
leather
can't talk about it. Oh, yeah, for sure. Here,
driving helmet and goggles.
Absolutely.
And
you've got to have the World War II look going. Maybe World War I, yes. Yeah, the leather helmet, I'm doing that in air quotes, and the scarf, because that's going to protect you from a fall.
I think it's just been, you're getting out, just having an experience.
Griot's Garage is our official car care partner and one of our very first sponsors for the show. They don't just make great car care products, they want you to get out and drive your car.
Griot's is a family-owned company, and they've been a part of every one of our road trips. We always take speed shine on every shoot, helping us spot clean cars at a moment's notice.
Their foaming glass cleaner is the quickest and best way we've ever found to get windows clean before a big day of driving. And they're always releasing new and improved products like their updated Wash Bucket 2.
Plus, all of Griot's liquid products are 100% guaranteed and made right here in the USA. The Griot's people are always happy to answer any questions to make sure you get the right product and the right results.
So get the best quality car care products out there from a company that has always supported this show. Our audience can always get at least 10% off by using the code DRIVER10 at griotsgarage.com.
The Nissans. Let's move on to all the fair ladies. I think the P car. I went and found a bunch of photos of your car.
Okay, I love it.
And this
That's
was
good.
from my phone when we were on one of our road trips.
Yep.
I can't remember which trip that this was on. I think it was going west.
Don't know.
I can't remember,
Yeah.
but I just held my
Very
phone
funny.
up as
Yeah.
Todd was driving. I was in the 928.
Yep.
I just took a photo of you, and you
Our
were just
great Cars of the Past series. I
enjoying
love it.
yourself. So
Yeah.
I think Nissan absolutely peaked with the Z32 300ZX. There's also an internet argument about, are they called fair ladies? They were only called fair ladies in Japan, but some people say, well, my 300Z is a fair lady, so we'll just say all the fair ladies, I love them. But
Okay.
the 300ZX from your era, the late 90s.
I love that car. I miss that car.
It's
Truly.
just It looked like nothing else on the market when it arrived. It was alien spacecraft when it landed in the market. Everybody went, what is this now?
Yeah.
And it does what now? And it's fast and great to drive and fun and beautiful looking. And the styling has held up.
Yeah.
It looks modern and classic, but still kind of in the era. But
it's amazing.
It is an amazing,
it looks
cool
both
car.
of its time and looks like something you could also release now, which is unbelievably hard to do. Yeah.
Everything that we love about the Nissans, the Z car is manifested. There have been better Z cars. Good job, Nissan. The new Nismo Z, have you heard, everybody? Has the manual.
Sounds like it's
GTR
gonna be good.
brakes. I mean, good job. But it was hit after hit after hit, and then Nissan landed this and just stood back. Yeah.
I can build off of that. That's good.
Peak
Yes.
Nissan. So here it is again. That's the third photo.
I didn't bring any photos of my car, and you have filled the gap. I love it. Oh, you're making me miss that car. And those were such great trips too. We have a 4-part series on this YouTube channel. It was called Cars of the Past. You bought your 928, and I bought a 300ZX, which we both owned at the time that we thought of the show and sold really before the show got going. So we rebought them. We did 4 trips, one in each direction of the compass in these cars. Huge trips, thousands and thousands of miles. We saw so much great stuff. That is a fantastic walk down memory lane. I really love it.
I love this car.
That's really cool.
Everything about the styling is just superb. The interior design was so bang on. The controls were right here.
I know.
The waterfall instrument panel, that dash that just dropped away for a small sports car to have this really open interior feeling, and the turbo, it had power. Great to drive on track, great to drive on the street. It was just such a great car. The Z32, this is peak Nissan.
All right.
Hands down.
You don't have to convince me.
Hands down.
But I will start there because my year overlaps with this car, as you're probably not surprised to hear.
Great.
So I'm going to go to the year 1993 for Nissan. Okay, so that is kind of in the middle of their run of this gorgeous car. I'm doing a photo that's not my car, but here it is still, the twin-turbo 300ZX, the Z32. I do love that car. But in 1993, they were also selling all of the following. The 240SX that now has been turned into every drift variant you can possibly imagine. 240SX was out there.
Yes.
They had the hard body pickup.
Super cool.
These were incredibly cool in their time. Super simple. This is what a pickup should be. They were just simple, and it just worked.
And they were small.
And then they also had this version, this rounded off version of the Maxima. This is peak Maxima.
I loved that
The Maxima was never better than this generation. And I knew a few people that bought these new in the 90s and were still driving in the late 2000s. These things just ran. And they were cool. They drove well. They did the 4-door sports car. They introduced the generation before this, but this was the one that was just seared in my brain. 1993, they were still selling this, which is incredible. The Pathfinder that we all think of, with the 3 vents in the hood, and the box design on it, and also, candidly, it and the little hardbody truck, these panels felt kind of thin. They did. They felt thin, but it also felt like
because they were.
Yeah, it also felt like the running gear was just going to run for a long time. Though, like they'd skinned the running gear you needed. Was kind of how it felt. But who cares? Because it felt like let's just take it somewhere and bang around. So this version of the Pathfinder and the Sentra SER.
Oh yeah.
1993 at Nissan, they were doing all of this. The same showroom, the same year. You could buy a Sentra SER at the bottom end. A couple of great trucks, this Maxima killing it as an actual sedan, the 300ZX and the 240SX in 1993. I can't beat that.
When was the 200SX with the pop-up headlights?
Yeah, I remember.
Early 90s?
That was 90s
or was that just
as well.
Before, or late 80s? That was probably late 80s.
But I can't get over this lineup at that point, and
So
I
great.
wish. Here's the thing. I wish Nissan would come out with another 240SX to compete with the 86 and allow the Z to be up there with the Supra. I think there's a missed opportunity there. Granted, I mean, I know Nissan is fighting hard for their own survival right now, and we hope for it. And I'm very excited about the new Z news.
Yes.
But I will always wish I had my Z car back. It was really, really
It's
great.
so pretty.
It's so
just
awesome. I do
timeless.
love it. Yeah, it's pretty great. I got to
love
admit.
that thing. I will end our discussion for today on Polestar because learning some more about Polestar, and we continue to hear great things about the new Polestar models. They have improved the Polestar 2 dramatically as they've found out things and updated with software and
found out things.
used the general public as their test bed. And
EVs. Beta.
Because Polestar graduated to its own brand, much like Genesis graduated to its own brand, the very first one that they tried, I thought, was peak Polestar because it wasn't an SUV.
Yeah, true. Fair.
It looked like the Volvo P1800.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I thought,
good point.
If this is what Polestar is going to be, performance, luxury, power, great styling. It was a large car in a compact way. I can't describe it. It felt big proportions, but the overall proportion or the overall size of the car wasn't that big. It looks big here, but it really wasn't. And that Volvo P1800 kind of look, it was like,
bit. Yeah, I see
is
it.
Polestar going like high performance sports car? And then, nope, they went SUV route. Although the Polestar 6, that roadster version that they've teased,
that looked cool.
That's coming back. Hopefully Polestar does something like that. But just learning about this car is the peak. It's what every car manufacturer aspires to build for their next cool performance hybrid that Polestar did in 2020. It's a two-door plug-in hybrid with an inline-4, both turbocharged and supercharged, with 2 electric motors on the rear axles. So the engine drove the front wheels, the electric motors drove the rear wheels, an integrated starter generator with an 8-speed automatic making 600 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque, which are supercar numbers in today's era for I came out with an amazing hot, cool sports car.
Yeah.
Polestar was doing that, and that's why I thought, they're going to, every cool generation after this is going to be cool GT cars or sports cars.
They got to sell an SUV.
They didn't because they had to sell cars.
Yeah.
But Polestar won. I loved the styling. I loved everything. And it just set the tone for Volvos and Polestars, and the styling was superb.
Do you think this could be taken and made into the updated version of the Yui and Puma? You remember that? If you have some free time, maybe you can throw up a photo in the edit of the Yui and Puma.
Yeah,
that was introduced at the LA Auto Show, where I think he was a dentist, decided to take the V70 at the time and build essentially a monster truck around it, and was trying to sell them. Yeah, I'm just imagining the Polestar Yui and Puma.
That's a bad idea.
The first one was too.
Trying to end on a positive note here.
I'm sorry.
It's a cool car with 600 horsepower.
Yeah, okay, it's cool looking. I'll give you that.
But couldn't we have other coupes with 700 or 1,000 or something cool?
I'm looking for the lightweight, powerful, interesting looking electric sports cars. I'm about that for sure.
Maybe Polestar will do that. Maybe they're watching and listening, and they'll rethink their whole.
I don't know. They got to sell stuff. So SUV.
Back windows in your cars.
That's a crazy idea, isn't it? Yeah. I don't need to drive in a cave. Let's not do that. I mean, here's the thing. The poor latest gen Camaro was a cave, and it had a back window.
Had glass.
Did no one learn? Yeah. We need ports. We need openings. This is not a submarine. Okay? It's not about cameras. I need to see a little fish swim by every time. I need to see stuff.
Oh my God.
You forget about how great visibility is until you climb into my son's Mini and you go, I could literally see everything. I put him in a truck recently, and it was amazing the things he could no longer see because of big pillars and monster mirrors.
Yeah.
He's used to his Mini where it's a fishbowl and there's nothing he can't see, which I kind of miss. We have some cool Hooked on Driving events coming up very soon. In fact, nationwide. You can go to hookedondriving.com. You can find our cool track events literally all over the nation, which is very cool. But on the same weekend, March 28th, 29th, that's coming up later this week, that is a Saturday-Sunday event at 2 different places at once. We have essentially the Midwest and the West Coast. We've got Laguna Seca. That is a 103 decibel day. If you know anything about Laguna Seca, you want to come to the high dB days. If you have a super loud car, well, this day's for you. I think it might be sold out because those go quick.
They do.
But that's coming. And also Hedge Hollow March Madness event in Adrian, Missouri. If you haven't heard us talk about Hedge Hollow, it is a guy's literal private racetrack that he wasn't putting enough rubber onto. So now he's opened it up to Hooked on Driving and a few others, and it's a phenomenal track. Yeah. I heard, when you and I went, I heard guys' private racetrack and went, oh, that's nice, and got there and was like, this is incredible.
It has digital flagging exactly like COTA.
It's long. It has elevation change. No expense was spared. It is It is nicer than many community tracks we've been to where they spent money. This guy just privately went, I have a blank check. I'll build a racetrack. And Hooked on Driving now drives there. So that's coming up this weekend as well. Still some space available for that one at hookedondriving.com. And our two big events we keep talking about for the year, COTA, Circuit of the Americas, May 30th and 31st. That is almost sold out.
I'm amazed. I'm grateful for all of you who are watching that are coming, and it's on your list. We, of course, continue to say we don't know what's going to happen with the track in 2027,
True.
but this is your year to come. We're going to be there both days. That is March 30th, 31st, 2026. You can still register at hookedondriving.com right now, and there's space available in B, C, and D groups. D is the expert level group, but B and C groups still have, all three of those groups still have space available for both days. It's going to be an incredible event. Tons of people coming. It's going to be a party. We're going to enjoy this amazing track.
It's an incredible place. Yeah. There's people coming not to drive, which is always very cool. It's going to be actually a really great hangout as well. We're hoping to do a podcast on Saturday evening, so that is all still pending, but we're planning on doing it. It's going to be a really, really cool event to be at. And honestly, with all the tracks you and I have gone to, it's top 5 for me.
Absolutely.
I really, really like COTA. And speaking of tracks that are our favorite, Pilgrimage 2026 is happening. That is the Nürburgring and Spa-Francorchamps. And talk about favorite tracks. I just every year I go back there and just go, let's do more of this. And we are. August 2nd through the 9th. It's actually a very spouse-friendly trip this year as well, with some good hanging out for tourist days, which is going to be really cool. You're going to want to come to this. I think as of this release, I think we have 1 spot left. And if you want to bring somebody with you, maybe.
Quick.
Like reach out.
Get it quick.
So, yeah, this is
Get
your
it.
shot at it. It's going to sell out. I'm very excited about it selling out. It's going to be a fantastic trip. We'd love to have you join us. Again, the pilgrimage trip you can find either place, everydaydriver.com or hookedondriving.com, but all of the track events nationwide are hookedondriving.com.
Hope to see you there. Stephen L. is in New England. He is in a Beetle family.
I didn't think he was serious until I started reading this and went, no. He legitimately has the tattoo.
He loves Beetles. He and his wife love Volkswagen Beetles. Well, they bought during the height of COVID and during our cheap SUV challenge, and a 2006 Cayenne S for about $6,700 with 140,000 miles.
That's a good buy. I like it. It's good.
In 4 years of ownership, they've put almost 30,000 miles on it, but they've replaced a lot of things like flex pipe cat assemblies that have gone bad, they've dumped money into it. Its primary use was winter driving and occasional commuting for Stephen's wife. As of this writing, though, it's been sitting since Thanksgiving because it needs a wheel bearing now. And again, the driver's side flex pipe needs to be replaced in order to pass inspection.
Because the first 3 years had that recurring issue. You want to get they didn't even make them in 07 because they were making fixes. 08 and on is really the one you want. But hey, you got it for $6,700 and it's been kind of good to you, all things considered. Yeah.
It's sitting. Oh, they've put money into it.
Yeah, they have.
Fluid changes, liquid filled motor mounts, air suspension, compressor rebuild. Oh. But Stephen's ready to see it go. In the fleet is a 2013 Beetle TDI, a diesel Beetle with 102,000 miles that his wife usually drives daily. She would like to prolong the life of this car. She loves it.
Okay. 2013 diesel Beetle. You don't see those. Ever. They have one and they love it. Yeah.
They've also got a 2005 1.8T manual convertible Beetle that they bought last year with 28,000 miles on it. He's got a 2006 Pontiac Solstice manual his wife bought new.
She likes to hang on to her cars.
Yes, she does.
She likes to buy them and they never leave, which is a bit of a problem. He also has a original, I was waiting for the original. If you're a Beetle person, he's got a 1973 Beetle that is his project.
Yes.
Talk about something to sound like a money pit to me. But he loves them. He legitimately has the tattoo. So there's that. Yeah.
His wife only likes cute cars. She's had multiple Beetles and tends to grow attached to cars and wants to keep them a long time, yes. When she said that Stephen was correct, that they really just need something reliable for her to drive to work, allowing the car that she truly loves to live longer.
The TDI, got it, okay.
TDI. Stephen got excited. He knew that he needed to write to us to help shop. They get snow in New England, so it needs to be all-wheel drive, he says. Blizzaks on the TDI are nice, but the new car, whatever this is, will be primarily used for winter. He wants all-wheel drive. He was thinking Mazda 3. He says SUV preferred. He's also a Volkswagen guy, or rather a bug guy. But there's not much, he writes, to celebrate in the Volkswagen world as of late.
Okay.
Tiguan's and Towson and...
I love Townsend.
Towson?
That's terrible. Taoises, yes. It's bad to how you do it. It's all bad. The plural of Taos is not good.
Check Consumer Reports if you think I'm wrong. He said 5 years ago would have been easy. Let's get a Tiguan, but now they're not a consideration.
Okay.
Stephen would like to keep the budget near $30,000. That means $35,000 from me. Leaning towards yes, Mazda CX-50 or Hyundai Tucson or Kia Sportage. He wants a traditional automatic, no CVTs. And he said he would never buy brand new again because he's tired of wrenching on dailies and not the project. So it's got to be new or 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah, he wants to have something
fine.
that just runs. Yeah, for sure.
He is unsure about the GMC Terrain and the boring Nissan Rogue. Driving dynamics is important, but easy to get in and out of. This is important so that truly rules out very small SUVs like a Mazda CX-30.
Okay.
Is he missing something else, or does he just go get the Mazda?
Okay.
Stephen, I love your ideas. The obvious choice for me is the 2015 to 2019 in the US Mark 7 Golf R.
Yeah.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
They're a Beetle family. It's got the tattoo. Go get yourself a Golf R.
Sure.
Power.
Sure.
Don't get the SUVs, but the Golf R.
Yeah.
Lots of power,
Yeah,
all-wheel
get the
drive,
DSG.
DSG.
Yeah, I see it. That I can definitely see that. Yeah.
But then your comment about wrenching on it, it's a little bit older. A lot of them have miles. I understand.
Yep.
I'm going to work my way there. I thought of the Hyundai Kona N. Starting place.
Okay. All right.
RAV4, new one, but then I'd want you to get the GR Sport, and that's pushing $50,000, and they're
Every bit of
cool,
50.
but no. And you said you want an automatic transmission. You don't want a CVT. And then I thought Honda CR-V, hybrid. I'd have to really sell you, and I think you still wouldn't buy one. So I am going to just recommend one car only, one car to rule them all. It is not a Volkswagen, but it still starts with the letter V. It is the Volvo XC60, the B5, and I went shopping for you.
Okay, good.
Because brand new, yeah, these are pretty expensive, but every single one, just a few years old, I found under 35,000. So on Autotempest.com/everyday, enter Volvo V60 and make $35,000 your price cap. Every single one, they're practically brand new. I did find 2025, Stephen.
Wow, that's great. That's a good deal.
Under 35,000, they all had 19,000 miles on them for whatever reason. And I mean, the interior, the seats, easy to get into. It's not too big of an SUV, but it's not too small.
Sure.
Great power, mild hybrid in the B5 gas version. So you still get 26 mpg. Like I said, great power, fun to drive, interesting, entertaining, luxurious, but not above $35,000. V60 is your car. Go drive one, go drive them all, then pick one you're going to buy. And Bob's your uncle. That's it.
You've done very, very well. And you've actually spared me talking about the Volvo XC60 because it was on my list.
Is it really?
And it was actually one of the few I didn't get photos for because I thought I'd breeze by it. And you covered it wonderfully. So that's done. It's very well done. I really like your CX50. I think that's a worthwhile one. But here's the vehicle I really wanted to have work. I really, really wanted it to. The Buick Envista. Remember this? Tiny little engine, decent styling. We were pleasantly surprised by it. And the reality is, go load one up, brand new, you won't even hit 35. The problem?
That's right.
It's only available front-wheel drive. I didn't remember that until I started looking around. I really wanted this to work. It doesn't work, Stephen, because it's
down.
Front-wheel drive only. But this was a surprising little vehicle from Buick because what I keep coming back to for your discussion is it just needs to work. It needs to be an all-wheel drive commuter. That is its purpose. And you'll see how that really affects where I'm going. But you did say you're a Volkswagen person, and I have to ask, why not the new Tiguan?
The new Tiguan is different.
We drove it recently, and
different.
it's good.
Yeah,
it's actually good. Yeah. Now, there's been some question marks with this already from reliability and recalls, but these are available, and you can get them for your budget in all-wheel drive, because I went shopping, and you could get a deal on one of these new and be out under 35, so I cannot ignore the Tiguan.
Sure.
Then I thought XC60, which thank you for covering, but then I got this idea, and that was you want something recent, all-wheel drive, and it's a commuter. You're not trying to buy something that your wife will love. It needs to work. That's its purpose. It needs to work and just be straightforward and not be something you have to think about, which made me go, wait a minute. Stephen, why are you not shopping used EVs? Used EV SUVs. I have to go there, starting with the Ioniq 5.
Oh, that's good.
The Ioniq 5, a couple years old. You have your choice. Which one would you like, Stephen? They're all over the place at autotempest.com/everyday. Put in
great.
your budget cap like you did and look for the Ioniq 5. But the Ioniq 5 has sister cars that I actually would argue are better. We're talking about the Kia EV6, which I think is one of the best looking EV SUVs. These are also super cheap for a fairly recent one, as is the Genesis GV60.
These are under 35?
A couple years old, absolutely.
Are they really?
That's the thing. This is the thing you have to understand
really?
about these EVs. We've been talking about it. These EVs, a couple years old, no one's buying the couple-year-old ones. And so they're crazy cheap.
Is great.
I went looking at all of these, and with $35,000 in your pocket, it's like, which one would you like with what features?
Wow.
All three of these, they share a chassis, but which styling do you like? Which interior do you like? This is an EV that's just going to work, and you're not going to think about it. We're not shopping for your forever car. We're shopping for your commuter car. Yes, please. And while I'm here, the Mustang Mach-E.
Oh, really?
Also available all day long under $35,000.
Interesting.
And actually, you don't need to get the GT. Don't get the GT. Just get an all-wheel drive version of this. The suspension's much better if you don't get the GT. These are really overlooked.
Throw your budget and get the Safari version of this.
Fine.
It's
but you don't
cool.
need it. But just as it is, just the base all-wheel drive Mustang Mach-E is very well executed. For what you need, go buy a used EV. Be surprised at how much technology and car you get. And the great thing about it is it will not overlap with anything that you already have in your garage that you love.
It's true.
All the stuff you love about the TDI Beetle and the Solstice and your Beetle project, let those be what they're great at. Let this be the commuter runabout, and you're done. And for your budget, I cannot believe this. I keep saying it, but there is no second buyer for a used EV. And they're starting to flood the market as they come off lease.
We're starting to enter that era, aren't
this
we?
is good. To the point, literally, that I'm going, do I need an EV runabout? I don't, but I'm just going,
You'd get an i3, the first i3.
I don't know that any of you would watch it, but there is a part of me that's just going, these are getting cheap for really recent cars. So, Stephen, give that a look, and I think you guys need a commuter EV.
Joseph writes to us. He's in his early 30s and needs direction and advice when it comes to a car that his wife will end up approving.
So his wife's not going to listen. That's where this is going to go.
Well, hopefully she's watching and listening now. Joseph wants us to convince his wife that cars have soul. And I think they do.
Okay.
They're currently making do as a one-car house. However, they're hopefully having their first kid in the coming year, and they will need a second car sooner or later.
Okay, got
Understand? His wife has several requirements for his car. It must have 4 doors so a child can be in the back. It must have longevity. She's fully on the appliance side of the spectrum and does not believe in having a car for less than 10 years unless issues arise. Okay.
By the way, you can keep any car indefinitely. It's just how much money do you want to put into it. But anyway, side note.
Keep it running.
Yeah.
It must not be anywhere close to American muscle. She actively hates Mustangs, Camaros, anything Dodge, or things that may remind her of those. I'm going to...
Not just look at those brands, but things that remind her of those brands. It really makes me laugh.
I don't think so, but I'm just going to walk along the edge of the cliff to maybe get there. So Joseph asks, what... can he get he needs the approval factor on where he can begin to convince her that your everyday car can in fact have soul. She understands fun cars. She liked his old cars, like his first car, which was a Del Sol.
Okay. All right.
She liked his father's C1 Corvette when they visit his parents.
Okay.
And when it comes to owning a car, she doesn't see why anyone wouldn't want a Tucson or a RAV4. He's trying to figure out a list of cars.
Utility first. Got it. Yep.
Just to start convincing her that your daily doesn't have to be crossover safety pod, getting you from point A to point B. And due to her longevity concerns, he's got concerns about trying an Elantra N or a used Stinger, or size-wise, the 86 is out. He has considered cars like the Integra Type S, Civic Si, Giulia Quadrifoglio, or a Macan as a wild card.
Interesting. Okay.
Joseph is trying to make sure that when he takes her to these test drives with him, that she can believe that a daily with soul is achievable and doesn't have to be reserved for a third car. Good news, their budget would be about $50,000 for the car. What should he buy? I am going to run through your first choice here very quickly. I love your Acura Integra Type S idea. This is superb. Right at $50,000, go buy something very slightly used within your budget. Gobs of fun. Interesting. It can be driven normally. It can just be driven like smoothly, quietly. And then when you want to rip, it rips.
Yeah, true.
And then I moved on. I thought, okay, let's go a little bit more luxury. For $50,000, you too can find a 2.5 liter Sport Prestige. They ended up at $49,000 MSRP, so slightly used. You can find a Genesis G70 2.5 Sport Prestige. These are fun to drive, but still just a luxury, nice car. Just easy to drive.
Very, very good. Yep.
Longevity. But I'm going to give you a wild card. You need to go drive one. I think it will offer both. All these cars that you have touched on, especially the Acura, the Genesis, they have dual personality. And that's what I want for you. This has 4 doors. It's an American car. It can do American muscle, but it can also do quiet, comfortable cruising. It is the CT4V Blackwing. I went and looked. Every CT4 Blackwing from 2023 is under $50,000.
Wow.
They have between 20 and 30,000 miles. They're all under 50. They're 47 to 49K. Perfect shape. Choose your transmission. Autotempest.com/everyday. Go get yourself a CT4V Blackwing. Done. Because it'll be fun for you when you want to rip and you want to do a twisty road and you want some power and speed and performance, but also drive it normally. It magnifies everything we love about dual personality cars.
I get that. Totally.
This is the car that, on the one hand, you can track these things, and Cadillac encourages you to take this to the track and drive the wheels off it.
The V Club comes to our Hooked on Driving events regularly. Tons of them, like 30 of them will show up between CT4s and 5s, and they fly. It's
Rip
amazing.
These things at the track.
They really do,
Or take your whole family, and it's a comfortable cruiser. It's an American. It's GM. It's GM. It's Cadillac. You're just a dad driving a Cadillac. The end. That's all it is.
Okay.
Magnifies both. My wild card is the CT4V Blackwing. Go shop, go drive, buy it, enjoy. And I wonder if she drives it and kind of thinks, this has got something to it. And that something that she would identify is called soul.
I like this. This is good.
The end.
Joseph, for you and your wife, I'm going to ease our way in here, looking at your email. I want to ease our way in because there's a couple things I noticed in here that I just want to touch on as kind of mile markers on how I think to solve this. And I'm actually not going to recommend anything that you haven't already mentioned. I'm just going to put it in a scenario for you because I think the key is in a couple bits of advice. Your wife doesn't feel like fun cars aren't a thing. She gets it. She knows that fun cars are a thing.
True.
But she's equating, you said it, she's equating all fun car with third car, that you can't have fun as a daily. The whole point of everyday driver, the reason there is we want you to have fun in your car that you drive every day. You also mentioned in here that because of our show, and I'm thrilled to hear this, you guys have started taking road trips. And the last few years, you've done various Utah national parks a couple years in a row. It doesn't sound like you've done anything but just visit the parks. But you can't convince your wife to get anything other than a 4x4 for these road trips. I don't get the sense, based on your email, that you've done this in the dead of winter or that you've done this to do all of the off-road trails. You've just visited the parks, and they're gorgeous. But Paul and I both have done every major Utah park in a 2-seat, 2-door sports car with track quality tires on it. Even if you have to drive slow in the park, it's just fun to be there in that car, okay?
Yeah.
We've done our Utah meetup every year, does actual Utah parks with a string of sports cars. Now, I'm not going that far for you, but the point I'm making here is you don't need a 4x4 to go there.
Nope.
But she equates that trip with you have to take the rugged thing. And that really struck me because I think the question, Joseph, for you and your wife is, I think you guys need to agree right now that the way to find this next car is not a test drive. It's a road trip.
Oh,
you need to rent one of the cars you're talking about and then take it on a road trip because the way you're going to connect these two is to have daily, real-life road trip style usage with a car that's also fun. Because I will agree with your wife on one point. If all we're getting a car for is to travel places and to take stuff, this is why we all buy SUVs. It's just go buy the SUV that has the cup holders and the features that you need and go on about your life. But if we're looking for soul, then what you have to do is you have to take the car that you think, I think you both do, that you think, well, I couldn't take a road trip in that, and do the road trip anyway. The one place I failed when my parents had a Corvette for a couple of years is they never took a road trip. I kept going, guys.
I thought they did.
Not really. They kept not taking a road trip in it. They'd go like a half day. They'd go somewhere, get lunch, and come back, which was cool. But then I was like, you're doing overnight somewhere. Take the Corvette. It's the two of you and not much stuff.
Yeah.
Go. They never really did. So here's what I'm going to say. 4-door cars you've talked about. I specifically went looking for photos of the cars you're talking about on road trips. Let's start with the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio.
That's such a great photo. That's so great.
4-door, 4-seat, fantastic to drive car. But you know what else it has? 4 doors, 4 seats, space, Apple CarPlay, actually a surprising amount of trunk space, good cruise control, interesting sound, halfway decent stereo, all the things when the road's not interesting. The Giulia does that just fine. You know what else does it? A Macan.
That's a great photo too.
I went looking for road trips.
Speaks to like, I want to be out there doing that. That's great.
A Macan. This is how you do RAV4 shape but fun. Get a used Macan, okay? Macan is great for this. I've said it before, this is Porsche's hatchback.
Yes.
That'd be a great road trip car. The two of you guys, and even if you have a little kiddo, perfect to do it in the Macan. While we're here, what about the Type S in the middle of Utah or Colorado?
Yeah.
Now, here's my question about the Type S for you. I am concerned that your wife is not going to get on board for a manual transmission in this role because it's not going to feel daily enough. The Type S is great. It's an easy manual to drive. It's a fantastic road trip car with a shockingly big hatch. This, I would argue, has got more space in the back hatch than a lot of SUVs.
Yes.
And it rides wonderfully. Yeah. Fantastic car. It'll be a great road trip car if she's willing to get over the hump of manual. I'm not sure about that. And I do have to say the Elantra N. Elantra N with the DCT, I know you're kind of on the edge about it, Joseph, but I think this would be a fantastic road trip car. The seats are really good, and because of those great front seats, the back seats have got extra room, and it's got a good-sized trunk.
Yep.
So my challenge for you is, one of these cars that you, Joseph, are intrigued about, that matches your criteria, insist, and have your wife come along for the trip. Insist that you guys do one of these road trips in one of those cars, because what that's going to do is that's going to merge, whether you decide you're doing it or not, it's going to merge the reality of the fact that the fun car can do the life stuff. And then you can go shop for this car and you can find something that does all the things you need it to do. This is why we take road trips in sports cars, which I will admit is goofy.
It's a little
not
weird
how you do road trips. As much as I've done it, I would recommend that no one that owns a Lotus Elise take a multi-thousand-mile road trip. I've done it. I've enjoyed it. We've filmed it. You can see it on this channel.
Did that? We're good.
At the same time, I would recommend that no one actually does it because it's hard.
Yeah.
And you have to do it alone. There's just not enough space.
Yeah.
So take these fun cars. The Giulia Quadrifoglio would be a fantastic road trip car and daily. I would do that in a heartbeat. I'd do the base Giulia because I love it. That's what you need. It's road trip car, and that will make this land.
We don't have time today for car conclusions or audience questions, but keep it coming. Send us your Topic Tuesdays. Send us your car debates. Send us those car conclusions. We love hearing from you guys. everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. Don't forget about the upcoming Utah adventure. Find a track day near you at hookedondriving.com. We're looking forward to seeing you at an event. And until next time, cheers, everyone.